Star Alliance may actually be set up for an enormous move, a massive move to the upside. Let's go ahead and find out exactly what I mean in this video. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an STAL, Star Alliance, technical, statistical, and raw price action threat of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCab. With that said, let's dive right in. Okay, so we are looking at STAL on the one-day chart, on the daily chart here, and it looks like from the start of the bear market, which was November 2021, you can actually see the metrics right down here when I point at the dates. So we actually started an enormous descending channel. So this descending channel presents a change in direction for the asset, and the direction is usually to the upside. So it's a signal for reversal. Okay, so now it has followed the rules that we usually talk about, the golden rule of three, where we test a resistance 3 times, followed by a capitulation event, and then we do have the breakout confirmation on test number 4. As you can see in this area, test number 4 actually did break out. Then it came back and tested several days the newly converted resistance into now support, and it has continued on to the upside. Aside from that, I am catching a massive cup and handle here. I don't usually like to call this pattern too much because it doesn't have a good enough or a high enough hit rate. Okay, so just know that it does have a not as good a chances as maybe an ascending triangle or a descending triangle would actually play out. So the chances of a triangle is actually in the upper 60% typically. Okay, so and it's both mathematically backed and also it's psychologically backed. So this is only psychological, okay? No math behind this. So now so the cup and handle does have a price objective, okay? And that price objective can actually be acquired by taking a trend line from the top of the cup to the lowest point of the to the lowest point of the cup. My apologies. And we apply it to the top of the handle. So upon doing that, we actually get a top target of about $1.23, which is just above the 4 spot 236, and also just under the 4 spot 618. So in what I am looking at is that sentiment may actually be wanting to cover this small gap that we have here, and it looks like we almost wanted to try to do that today, and we actually caught a little early. Usually these gaps, when they're presented like this, we actually can use them as a form of support before continuing on to the upside. In those tests of support, there is also the possibility of wicking down to the lowest part of the support of it. Maybe even a wick down a little bit lower before continuing. But as you can see here, we actually, I'm sorry, I stayed a little quiet because I have my toddler taking a nap right outside. So I actually, I'm with him all day, and I get him to take a nap first, and then I can come into the studio and do this thing here for us. And I thought I just heard him. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so what happened here was I don't think that we reached all the way to the bottom because of this particular ratio. This is the 0.618 at 2046, and you can see that with my cursor line, the horizontal line, you can actually see that we touched spot at it. So we use those 0.618 as a valid form of support before continuing on to the upside. We can actually bring in some SMAs and see if that's also confluent. Okay, no. So we do have the 10-day simple moving average, the 100-day here being crossed by the 10-day, which is great. The 10-day has crossed the 50-day moving average, which is also awesome. We have some resistance coming up at about 33 cents from the 200-day moving average, but I'm actually more curious now about the EMAs because there is a potential that the 30-day exponential moving average could be a form of resistance too. Actually, no, we have it way below us, and the 7-day exponential moving average is actually kind of serving as a guide to the top. If tomorrow we start to get another decline, there is the potential to where we can actually use the confluence between the EMA 7 and this gap for a support touch before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. This is the statistical side of the analysis. Okay, so I have performed the back test that is it's a volatility versus momentum back test throughout the entire trading history of STAL. Now, for the new viewers, this is volatility you're looking at here, represented by this indicator BBWP. It is direction neutral. We have to pair it with in my case, I'm pairing it with stochastic momentum. That's part of the TradingView software. Okay, so I have taken note of every iteration where we have surpassed the critical volatility level, which I consider to be this blue line here at 90%. So I have taken iteration or note of every iteration from when we have surpassed or touched that critical volatility zone and started a contraction phase towards the downside. Now, the note of the iteration is actually the duration and the upside thrust based on the contraction versus expansion of the momentum oscillator. Excuse me. So, what I am noticing here is and another thing is that these vertical lines. I take them and they're green because I wanted to see just how many times the back test was correctly guessed to the upside versus the downside based on the volatility versus momentum profile. So now we actually have some interesting back test data. So from a 12-hour BBWP, from expanded levels, from critical expansion, we have 5 of 5 correct iterations. So not that much information, but it is perfect thus far. So we have an average upside accuracy of 100% with an averaged upside thrust of 337.64% with an average duration of 42.5 days. This is proof of work. Okay, so what we are looking for is for both the volatility component, which is the spectrum line, and the moving average of the BBWP, both pivoted towards the downside and or printing more of these red bars. These red bars are actually particular to critical expansion, and they print when we have completed a critical level of a 12-hour day, a full day. So these are 12-hour reads. Okay, the blue is for the for the contractive levels, but it's high volatility here and high volatility here. Okay, but it is direction neutral. That's why we use this. Now, stochastic momentum this indicator has actually proved to be right 70 to 90%. 75 actually to 90% of the time in several tickers. Okay, so from me backtesting just this indicator and guessing the direction of the asset. So it's not perfect, but it is good to consider within your backtests, right? So if we were to now continue on to the upside and the volatility either continues below the 90% or starts printing red bars, that's a good sign. Okay, so far it looks like the play is on. Now we're going to go ahead and catch some more details as to where the direction is going. But first, let's apply that 337.64% move to the upside to the price action where we are now. Let's go ahead and revert back to this channel because I have found something very interesting here too. So the 334% move to the upside, which is, I'm actually measuring it from the firing of the signal, which was yesterday. We have confluent target here. So it's actually suggesting for us to move right to the $1.04 level, which is the 3.618. And it also shares it's also very reminiscent of the price objective as well, because it's suggesting for us to go to the 4.236. So the fact that we have, let's go ahead and draw this resistance. I'm going to show you the fact that we have all of these things rhyming. It presents a serious opportunity. So this is what I'm looking at here as a form of resistance on the way to the top. So this is not, I don't know of any fundamentals in this. I'm literally just giving you what I see as a back test from data. So this is just mathematics, price action, and technicals paired together. So I can be able to give you what the data is suggesting. I don't feel like this is going to go anywhere. I don't care where it goes. I just follow the data. Me as a systematic trader, I look at a lot of relevant things. When we find a lot of confluence in things, then we start to give it some credit. Of course, we have to practice risk management. I'm not perfect all the time. This is the way I trade. Okay, so Now let's get a bias in that direction. Another very good thing that could be in play right now is that I've identified 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of phantom bullish divergence, and it is now in play. So it definitely respected the divergent drives, and we are absolutely on the way to the top. Now the divergence drives happen when price action is making lower lows versus the indicator RSI making higher lows. So from here to this point here, and it is phantom because we're actually identifying it from areas to where we actually have to go through price action. Okay, so we are so if there are bullish drives of phantom divergence, you're looking, the phantom isn't in here, right? So I'm just going to show you the regular divergence. It's price action lower low, indicator lower high, higher lows. Okay, and that's exactly what's happening right now. It is in play, and now let's. The pivot on the daily RSI, sorry, is still suggesting an upside. It's weakening a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it's going to reverse right away. We are definitely going to take a look at other time frames. So let me go ahead and bring up this the profile here for the RSI properties of my RSI here. So these are the 4 zones right over here for you to look at these and tag along as I describe this so you don't get lost in translation. So let's open up a multi-pane and get an idea for the immediate short term. Another thing is that I've noticed that STAL isn't available on every broker. So like Webull, I didn't see it there. I did. Somebody in the Discord mentioned that they saw it on TD Ameritrade. I have noticed it in TradeStation, and I forgot what else, but yeah, so far those are the 2 exchanges where I did see this listed in. So we're gonna make this the buy hourly. This is gonna be the 6. I'm sorry, yeah, let's do the 6 hour on this, and this is gonna be let's do the 12 hour since we already saw the daily. Actually, is it 12 hour on the daily? Actually, yeah. Let me just go to so then I'm gonna go to the buy daily and see what's going on. Okay, so let's now start with the immediate short term. We're gonna look at the 30-minute time frame here, and the 30-minute time frame is suggesting a continuation up. And I mean, the thing is here is that we are a little bit within the shallow areas of the bull weakness percentile. When we're in these shallow areas, here, we can't give it too much credit to the upside because usually we tend to be gravitated right back into bear weakness. It could suggest some sideways trading, but that's why we have other time frames to evaluate. So the buy hourly is suggesting a continuation onto the upside, but again, while this is looking good and we are sitting in bull strength percentile, it is wise to notice as well that we are in the shallow areas of the bull strength percentile, which usually means that we can be gravitated right into bull weakness. Now, the 6 hour time frame is suggesting a downside. Now, it is touching on the moving average as well. So sometimes when this happens, the likelihood of us moving down below the moving average is a high probability. But know that we're the position where we're sitting in. Remember, the deep areas and the shallow areas are usually when we get gravitated into the opposing side. So in this case, we are well within the grips of the bull strength percentile here. So there could be a very limited downside here before a continuation onto the top. This could likely be a corrective move. Okay, and this this downside suggestion is this may be in accordance to what I'm talking about of potentially coming back down and wicking to close this this small gap. Since we are so close on it, psychology tends to want to take the trade down to here to close it for another reaccumulation period and continuing on to that rocket ship to the upside. Okay, so we already saw the daily and the 12 hour. They're both suggesting a little bit of a side. It's neutral right now, but it is within the overbought percentile still. But I'm sure there's See, I'm gonna mark where we are with a trend line. And you can see that there's already an iteration past this. This iteration is way past it. It's gone up to 80. It's gone up to about 84, about 85%. So there is still room to continue on the RSI. So this is good. Okay, and now what I wanted to show you is actually the buy daily, because the buy daily is suggesting an aggressive upside, and now surpassing the bull strength percentile and really entering into the overbought area, which is at the border. This is likely for it to continue rocket shipping to the top, and this could, wow, look at the 3-day. The 3-day is is now entering with an aggressive upside into the bull strength percentile. So, you guys, I am thinking that we may do an immediate short-term upside, maybe a fake out, to try to get some people to, to get some liquidity for short positions to open right around here, around the 27.50 area, or the 30 cent area, so they can open up a short scalp and cash in some profits here. This could actually be. Let's just take a look to see if it is even a good trade. Nah, it definitely is. Okay, so you're looking at a potential 40% gainer on short positions here. So there is the potential to where we can actually wake up to this area here and then come back down and fill this gap or touch the actual support before continuing on to the upside. I don't think that the immediate move to the upside, if FOMO doesn't actually trigger, I don't think that it's actually that fast. Remember also that the stats are suggesting 42.5 days, and it has been a period of about 24 hours. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me within Twitter, Discord. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCap trading community in Discord. All right, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.